Radhika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindana Vaishnavi Vrishabhanustate Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vanchakalapatruvyascha Kripa Sindhobhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Oh.
Okay, thank you. Did you do 3 times? I thought you did only twice.
Oh, yeah, I think I did.
Okay, now let's go to the verses for this week. I think we're doing chapter 3. Today we have to do 7 and 8, is it? Or 9 and 10? Okay. Are you all learning the verses? I'm not following up with you all, but I hope you all are learning the verses. Okay. All right. Okay, who will repeat after me? Maybe Hemita, you can repeat after me. Yastvindriyani manasa.
Yastvindriyani manasa.
Niyam yarabhaterjuna.
Niyam yarabhaterjuna.
Karmendriye karma yogam.
Karmendriye karma yogam.
Asakta savisishyate.
Asakta savishishyate. Yastvindriyani manasa.
Yastvindriyani manasa.
Niyam yarabhaterjuna.
Niyam yarabhaterjuna.
Niyam yarabhaterjuna.
Somebody was repeating, right? Who was that who repeated after Hemita? Okay, somebody take now. Somebody take the turn. What are you all staring at the screen?
Niyam yarabhaterjuna.
Karmendriyai karma yogam.
Karmendriyai karma yogam.
Ashakta savishishyate.
Ashakta savishishyate. Yastvindriyani manasa.
Yastvindriyani manasa.
Niyam yarabhaterjuna.
Niyamarabhaterjuna
Karmendriyai karma yogam.
Karmendriyai Karma Yogam
Asakta savishishyate.
Asakta Saha Vishishyate Yastvendriyani Manasa
Yastvindriyani manasa.
Niyam Varvate Arjuna
Niyam yarabhaterjuna.
Karmendriyai Karma Yogam
Karmendriye karma yogam.
Asakta Saha Vishishyate
Asakta savishishyate. Yastvindriyani manasa.
Yasvindriyani manasa.
Niyam yarabhaterjuna.
Niyamya prabhate arjuna.
Karmendriye karma yogam.
Karmendriye karma yogam.
Asakta savishishyate.
Asakta sa vishishyate. Yasvindriyani manasa.
Yastivindriyani manasa.
Niyamyara bhate arjuna.
Niyam rabhate arjuna.
Karmendriyani karma yogam.
Karmendriyani karma yogam.
Asakta sa vijistyate.
Asakta savisishyate. Yastivindriyani manasa.
Yastvindriyani manasa.
Niyam yarabhate arjuna.
Niyam yarabhaterjuna.
Karmendriyani karma yogam.
Karmendriyai karma yogam.
Asakta savisishyate.
asakta sa vishishyate yastvindriyani manasa
Yastvindriyani manasa
niyam yarabhatirjuna
niyam yarabhatejana
karmendriyai karmayogam
karmendriyai karma yogam
asakta sa vishishyate
asakta sa vishishyate yastvindriyani manasa
Yasvindriyani
Manasa
niyam yarabhatejana
Niyam and Baderjana
karmendriyai karma yogam
Karmendriya Karma Yogam
asakta sa vishishyate
Asakta Sa Visishyate Yasvindriyani Manasa
Yasvita Indriyani Manasa
Niyam Niyam Bhartendra
Niyam Yarbate Arjuna
Karmendriya Karma Yogam
Karma Yendrai Karma Yoga
Asakta Sa Visishyata
Asakta Sa Vishishtata Yastra Indriyani Manasya
Yastav Indiyani Manasa
Niyam Yarbate Arjuna
Niyam Ya Bharata Arjuna
Karma Mindriyai Karma Yoga
Karmendriyai Karma Yogam
Asakta Sa Vishishtate
Ashakta Sarvashishite Yastrav Indiyani Manasa
Yastwin
Yasmin Indriyani Manasa
Niyam Ya Prate Arjuna
Niyam Yarapate Terjana
Karmendriya Karma Yogam
Karmendriyai Karma Yogam
Ashakta Sarvashishite
Asakta Savishishyate Yastvindriyani Manasa
Yastvindriyani Manasa
Niyam Yarapate Jana
Niyam Yarabate Juna
Karmendriyai Karma Yogam
Karmendriyai Karma Yogam
Asakta Savishishyate
Asakta Savashishate Yastvindriyani Manasa
Yastvindriyani Manasa
Niyam Yarabate Juna
Niyam Yarabhatirjana
Karmendriyai Karma Yogam
Kamendriyani Kamendriya Karma Yoga
Asakta Savishishate
Asakta Savishishyate Yastvindriyani Manasa
Okay.
Yastvindriyani Manasa
Niyam Yarabhatirjana
Niyam Yarabhate Arjuna
Karmendriya Karma Yogam
Karmendriya Karma Yogam
Asakta Savishishyate
Asakta Sa Vishishyate Yastvindriyani Manasa
Yastvindriyani Manasa
Niyam Yarabhate Arjuna
Niyam Yarabhate Juna
Karmendriya Karma Yogam
Karmendriye Karma Yogam
Asakti Sa Vishishyate.
Asakta Sa Vishishyate. Translation. On the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind and begins Karma Yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior. So in this verse, Lord Krishna is saying, he started off by saying, on the other hand. That means in the previous verse, Krishna talked about something which is referring about And in comparison to that, in today's verse, is saying on the other hand. If you all can remember the previous verse, what does Krishna say? Krishna says that one who restrains the senses of action, that means who controls the senses of action, but within his mind, he's always and constantly dwelling on the sense objects. Then what happens to that? What is that person called? He's called a
Pretender.
pretender. Now we have heard of pretension in our lives, right? Do you all know what pretension is? You can stop sharing now. So you all know what pretension is? Can somebody elaborate on that?
It's like trying to be someone or something that you aren't.
Right. You're not, but you want to show off as if you're somebody. Especially we try to show off to people for good things, right? Though we are not maybe that good or that expert in that skill, but we want to show to people that we are experts. Why do people do that? Why do people pretend? You all know? Can you all think of reasons why people pretend?
Maybe to like get favor with someone.
To get favor with someone? Yes, good idea, good point. Any other reasons why people pretend? Because I'm sure we all have pretended some time or the other, and we all probably are pretending also. It might not be, we might not really do it intentionally, but sometimes it happens. Do you all do pretension anytime or no? No? How many of you think you have pretended sometime? Okay, then that means you all should be able to give reasons why we have pretended.
Maybe to like look better than someone.
Very good point. See, sometimes we want to impress and get the applause. I mean, we want to be praised by others, and therefore we want to pretend that we are good, right? What are the other reasons? As Supreet mentioned, also to get some favor.
Sometimes people do it for attention.
For what? For
Attention.
attention. Yeah, attention or to be impressed. Yeah, that's good. So only those reasons we pretend?
Maybe to
Sometimes.
make yourself look like superior, I guess.
What is it?
Superior, like better than others, like, yeah, just like, I don't know, you pretend to like act cool or be good at something, like that kind of thing.
And why do we do that? Because again, we want to impress people, correct?
But also to like just make ourselves think that we're superior.
Yeah, sometimes we cheat ourselves too. We think that just by behaving in certain way, just by external actions, we are superior or we are better people. That's what we think. Yeah, that's a very good point. And sometimes we pretend because we are afraid of the consequences. Correct? Suppose you were supposed to do some homework, or you have supposed to prep for some assignment in class, and the teacher asks, did you all prepare? Did you all study? And then you know that the teacher will not evaluate you. And then we might think, oh, why not I pretend like I studied instead of telling the truth? Do we do that sometimes? No? No? Never? So you all learned Bhagavad-Gita verses of chapter 2 and chapter 3 till now, everything, all the verses? I asked that question in the beginning of this class and you all said yes. Wasn't that pretension when you all just said yes? Then why did you all say you don't pretend in the class anytime? Not only in my class, and of course you are in academic subjects too. You sometimes pretend just to avoid the noise or just to escape from that situation, right? So out of fear, out of attachment to rewards, favors, or praise, or praises, or to look good in front of others, right? So these are the two reasons we pretend. And if we understand why we pretend and it's not good to pretend, then we try to really be those qualities or the expression of that qualities. First of all, we pretend for those scenarios where we think those are good things to do. For example, oh, he's such an organized person. When somebody says about us that compliment, we think, oh, that's a good compliment. That means we know being organized is a good quality. Yes or no? So we deep within our heart know what is good and what is bad. And pretension usually happens when we are not that good quality, but we want to be that good quality. Right? So now what we have to work on is not to pretend, but to really be those good qualities. Yes or no? The fact that we're pretending itself indicates that we know what is good and what is bad. Had we not known, we don't have to pretend. We just assume the bad thing is good thing and we just be bad. Yes or no? So the fact that we're pretending to be something or to be someone or to act in a way is because we know that action or that expression of myself is the one that pleases or is praiseworthy. Now, Krishna is telling in this verse, in the previous verse, Krishna said, a person who is externally acting as if he's not attached to those actions, but within his mind is constantly thinking about those. For example, you are told not to watch TV or play video games. And and your parents tell you this is time for studying, go and study in your room, right? But you're sitting inside your room, which is according to the instruction given to you. But while sitting inside the room, you're not focusing on studies. But you're thinking about, my friend might be enjoying now. Or if I had played that game, I would have advanced in that game from one level to another. Or if I had watched that show, I would have known what is happening in the next part of the show. So you're constantly thinking about those things. But in reality, what are you doing? You're sitting in the room and you're not sitting in the room for the purpose you're meant to sit in the room. Yes or no? And what is that called? Pretension, right? Pretension. It's called pretension. So again, and we are pretenders. Similarly, that's about your material activities, the jobs that you have, the duties that you have, and how we are escaping from our duties by not really doing, but acting like we are doing. Now, when it comes to Krishna consciousness, again, Krishna is also saying that we all know according to Krishna what is the right thing to do, what is not right thing to do, correct? But Arjuna was confused. He's asking, Krishna, can you clearly tell me unequivocally what should I be doing? Should I be fighting in this ghastly war? Or should I be going and meditating? Then Krishna says, for your duty, and Arjuna's duty at that moment was to fight. Correct? For your duty, you are supposed to be fighting to the best of your capacity, but with your mind focused on not the results, but with the mind focused on acting to the best and leaving the rest to me. That was Arjuna's duty. Now, if Arjuna thinks, no, I don't want to fight and I want to go and meditate because of all the reasons that Arjuna gave. I don't want to kill my cousins, my uncles, my grandfather, my guru. I will go and meditate. Now, let's think of an hypothetical situation where Arjuna gives up the war and goes to the forest and meditates. At this moment, right at this moment, when he's about to start the war, when Krishna takes Arjuna to the center of the battlefield upon Arjuna's request, and Arjuna goes and sees all these people there and he says, no, I don't want to fight. I want to go and meditate. So let's assume Krishna says, do whatever you want without even speaking Bhagavad-gita. And Arjuna would have gone to the forest. Now, what would have Arjuna thought? As soon as he sits in the forest for meditation, maybe for a few hours is fine because he was emotionally very weak at that point. But after some time, he would have remembered all the atrocities that Kauravas had done against them and all the unrighteous things that they were doing. Therefore, he would get that anger and that now challenging mode of why did I not fight? And he would not be really meditating. Do you think he'll be meditating? He'll be thinking about all these things in his mind. So externally, though he is meditating in the forest, but internally he's agitated by all these thoughts and emotions running in his mind. And therefore he would have been a pretender. And Krishna doesn't like pretender. It's not about Krishna not liking, but that is not the right thing for anyone. Whatever instructions Krishna gives us, it's not, we don't have to follow just because Krishna likes them. Krishna gives the instructions to us because they are good for us. Just like if your mom or dad tells you eat healthy food. You don't have to listen to them because, oh, they're telling me, therefore I want to eat healthy. I have to eat healthy food. You have to understand the reasoning and the logic behind why eating healthy food is important, like broccoli or carrots or whatever healthy stuff that they recommend. You don't say, oh, I'm eating because I'm told to eat. Similarly, when Krishna is giving the instructions that don't be a pretender, Arjuna, you rather perform your duty, fully engaging your senses in that duty, but with your mind in Krishna consciousness. That's what this verse says, right? Today's verse, what does it say? It says, one who restrains, but okay, that was the previous verse. The next verse, he talked about pretender. On the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind, so externally we are acting, you are still eating, we are still going to school, we're still studying, we still sleep. It doesn't mean that a devotee doesn't sleep, because sleeping is mode of ignorance activity. He still sleeps, he still eats, he still goes to school, he or she still goes to work, she still plays all the sports, all the extracurriculars. But how? You control your senses. How? Control the mind. How? By thinking about Krishna and always understanding the real purpose of every activity that we do. What is the real purpose of every activity that we do? Whether it is studying, whether it is eating, whether it is sleeping, whether it is playing a sport, or whether it is just whatever activity we do should have a purpose. And what is that purpose? Do you all know? Do you all have clarity of that purpose?
To offer devotional service to the Lord.
It is an opportunity for us to prove how well we can do in those activities without getting affected, without our mind getting disturbed. Right? And as Suprit said, finally, it is devotional service. But devotional service means something which is abstract to all of us. For us now, I will do my job, but I'm studying to my best. I want to do my job of a student the best. If I'm playing tennis, I'm going to be a best tennis player. But I'm not going to be crazy if I don't win a trophy or if I don't win a medal. But I'm going to do my best. I'm going to study well and try to improve from the grades that I've got from before. And that is exactly what we need to do. Every activity we do it very well and thank Krishna every time before beginning the activity. Suppose how can Krishna says, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu, always remember me. But how can you remember Krishna all the time? Even while playing tennis, because while playing tennis, you need to look at the opponent's ball from which direction it is coming and how do I respond to that ball. So it might not be like, okay, Krishna, I'm going to hit this ball now. Okay, Krishna, I'm going to hit this ball now. It's not that practical, right? But just before beginning the game, after the game, constantly being cheerful, grateful, thankful, and playing without cheating also is important. If we live by Krishna's instructions, then we have been remembering Krishna all the time. Yes or no? Krishna's instructions are not different from Krishna himself. And Krishna's instructions, prime instruction to all of us is control your mind, don't be attached, and perform your duty well. That is devotional service for us at this age. Of course, devotional service means chanting, what is that? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Mandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Padasevanam, Atmanivedanam. There are so many of those 9 steps that we did during Damodara month. Those are the main activities of devotional service. However, we all have to live a life where we are doing so many activities, and living by Krishna's instructions will become translation of living of devotional service for us. Okay, so Krishna clearly says you have to do your job, but control your mind and do without attachment. And if you are Krishna conscious, then you are far superior than a pretender. Now you all know what it means to not be a pretender and what it means to be a pretender. Yes or no? Simple example of you being asked to stay in a room and study, whereas you are secretly opening your gadget and playing. And as soon as your mom comes, you immediately shove that under your pillow. And then your mom is thinking, oh, my baby is studying, so sweet, so nice. I'm so proud of my baby, of my child. Of course, your parents will be proud of you regardless. However, that moment, the parents are assuming, and we have actually pretended, correct? So we should not be pretenders, because Krishna himself is saying to not be pretenders. He's certifying that a person who is doing their job, instead of giving up the job and pretending to be studying, rather than that, you tell your mom and dad, Mom, I want to play for half hour, and you play wholeheartedly, fully, with your mind completely into that game, play for half hour, and then put it aside and then engage in your activities. That is the superior activity than pretending to be not be playing. Got it? Any questions? Oh, you all are so smart. You understand everything in Bhagavad Gita. So can you give me another example of where you should not be pretending in your life? I give an example of you all studying. Which other places where you can stop pretending? I'm sure we all have.
At sports,
At sports, what do you do? How do you pretend?
trying to be good, like better than others.
How can you
Like
pretend?
showing off that you're athletic, like you're good at a sport. Like for example, you're good at soccer.
So, I mean, if you're really good, how is it pretension?
No, like you're trying to be really good, even though you're not.
Okay. So what do you do? What is the solution to that?
Try to be better at it instead of
Try to
pretending.
try to genuinely be better at it. Yeah, good. Anything else?
Maybe in school you pretend that you're like that you know a lot of stuff or a lot of a lot of things in the class, and then when you actually don't.
How do you pretend like that? In school, how
Maybe
do you pretend?
maybe say like you.
Anyone else wants to speak about pretension?
So Ishan's thought maybe if like a teacher asks if you know about like some book and then you say yes, but you've never actually read the book.
Yeah. Pretension is actually is synonymous to lying, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And we know it's a bad thing. So you all have to think about it and stop being a pretender. I'm sure most of you don't do it for majority of your activities, but sometimes we sometimes do it. And again, the reason is either to show off or we're scared or we're worried of the consequences. But if you're trying to show off, then there's no need to show off. It's okay. People will accept the way we are. And I want to project to the people who I am really, rather than being accepted as a friend for somebody who I am not. Right? You and it's hard to be pretending all the time, right? You have to always put a mask, not really mask, but always you have to be like someone who you are not, right? It's hard. Rather than that, be whatever you are. And if you know that whoever you're trying to pretend is a good thing, to good quality, then aspire to imbibe that quality and practice that quality really. Like, for example, if Amog said about the book that he didn't read, but he wanted to tell his teacher. But if you think that book reading is important, then read really and then be genuine in the class. Hemita, you had something to say?
I was just gonna say like now in this time, so like a lot of us are doing like online classes. So if your like parents enroll you in some class and then you like lock yourself in your room and then you attend class, but you're not actually like paying attention, your parents think you are, but like in like reality you're really not, and you're doing whatever you want in the class.
Amazing. Very nice example. I'm not telling that example. She quoted a very real and practical example that really happens with students. I myself watch in this class too. Sometimes the kids are staring at the screen, but I know they're not listening to me because they probably have another tab open or something else going on. That is a classic example of what pretension is, right? And parents are thinking, oh, my child is attending Bhagavad Gita class. There were instances where I had to message couple parents that your child seems to be watching this, looking at the screen, but they're not attentive in the class. That's the reason I've told many parents to have this laptops or your computers in a common area so that you don't get an opportunity to pretend. Right? That's a huge disservice you're doing to yourself if you're pretending. Right? For now, it might look like, it's a nice opportunity for me to use this time for doing something else. Nobody else will know. But then it is a huge harm you're doing to yourself. Very good example that Hemita brought up. Anybody else has any other? So Krishna himself says pretension is not good. Now let's go on to the next verse. If you have no questions. Okay, Krish, repeat after me. Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Karmachyayo hi karmanaha.
Karmachaya hi karmana.
Sharira yatra pichate.
Sharira yatra pichate.
Na prasidhyeda karmanaha.
Na prasidyeda karmana. Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Karmajaya hya karmana.
Karma jyayo hya karmana.
Sharira yatra pichate.
Sharira yatra pichate.
Na prasidyeda karmana.
Na prasidyena karmanaha. Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Yam Guru Karmatvam.
Karma jyayo hya karmana.
Karma
Karma
jaya
jayo hi
karmana.
karmana.
Sharira yatra pichate.
Sharira yatra pachate.
Na prasidyena karmanaha.
Na prasadyeda karmanaha. Nyayatam kuru karmatvam.
Niyatam
Kuru
Kuru
Karmatvam.
Karmatvam.
Karma jaya haya karmana.
Karma jaya hya karmana.
Saraya yatra pichate.
Sarira yatra pichati.
Na prasadyeda karmanaha.
Na prasatyata karmana. Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Niyatam kuru
Kuru
karmatvam.
Karmatvam.
Karma jaya hya karmana.
Karma jayo hi karmana.
Sarira yatra pichate.
Sarira yatrapati chate.
Na prasatyata karmana.
Na prasidhyat or karmana. Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Niyatam Kuru
Niyatam kuru
Karmatvam.
Karmatvam.
Karma jayo hi akarmana.
Karmaja hi akarmana.
Sarira yatrapi chate.
Sarira yatrapi chate.
Na prasidhyat akarmana.
Na prasidya akarmana. Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam.
Niyatam kuru
Niyatam Kuru
karmatvam.
Karmatvam.
Karma gyayo hi akarmana.
Karmajayo hya karmanaha.
Sariyatrapi chate.
Sharira yatra pichate.
Na prasidya akarmana.
Na prasidyed akarmanaha. Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam.
Karmajayo hya karmanaha.
Karmajayo hi karmana.
Sharira yatra pichate.
Sarira yatrapi chate.
Na prasidyed akarmana.
Na prasidyed akarmana. Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam.
Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Karmajayo hyakarmana.
Karma jayo hya karmanam.
Sarira yatrapi chate.
Sharira yatra pichate.
Na prasidyed akarmana.
Na prasidhyati karmanam. Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Niyatam kuru karmatvam.
Karma jayo hya karmanam.
Karma jayo hya karmana.
Sharire yatra pichate.
Sharira yatra pichate.
Na prasidhyate akarmanam.
Na prasidyate karmanam. Niyatam kuru karman tvam.
Is everyone done? Niyatam
Niyatam kuru karma tvam.
Karma jaya hiya karmana.
Karma jaya hiya karmanaha.
Sara saraya yaptapichate.
karma jyayo. Okay, which one are you doing? The third line?
Yeah, third line.
Sharira yatra pichate.
Sarira yatra pichate.
Na prasidyet akarmana.
Na prasidyet akarmanaha. Niyatam kuru karma tvam.
Niyatam kuru karma tvam.
Karma jayo hiya karmanaha.
Karmo jyayo hi karmanaha.
Sarira yatra pichate.
Sarira yatra pi chate.
Na prasidyet akarmanaha.
Na prasidyad akarmanaha. Niyatam kuru karma tvam.
Niyatam kodu karma tvam.
Karma jyayo hi akarmanaha.
Karma jayo hi akara manaha.
Sarira yatrapi chate.
Sharira yatrapi chate.
Na prasadyad akarmanaha.
Na persit yed akara manaha. Niyatam kodu karma tvam.
Niyatam kuru karma tvam.
Karma jayo hi akara manaha.
Karma jyayo hya karmanaha.
Sariya yatrapi chate.
Sharira yatra pichate.
Na persit yed akara manaha.
Na prasiddhyeda karmanaha. Translation, can you scroll down? Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. So again, continuing with what Krishna said in the previous verse, he's now giving a straightforward instruction. He's telling, oh Arjuna, you have to perform your prescribed duty. Of course, he didn't say you have to, but he's guiding him saying, perform your prescribed duty because it is better than not doing any work. Because Arjuna was asking between fighting and going and being a beggar. But then Krishna said, he's reminding of the prescribed duty and guiding him by saying, perform your prescribed duty. And then he's saying it is better than not working at all because anyways, whether you think you are not going to work, you still are working because when you are sitting down idle, your mind is constantly doing something or the other, and we all are working with our mind. So it's Krishna is telling you can never be not doing any work, and it's not possible for anyone. And even to maintain our body, we have to do some physical work. Yes or no? So just imagine that we want to just sit down. I don't want to tire my body. I want to keep my body safe and healthy. I don't want to waste my energy. And you sit at one place. What will happen to it? In fact, your body becomes unmaintainable. For maintaining your body, you have to do workout, you have to eat, you have to work and all that. In terms of the body also, we all have to perform activity. And in terms of doing what type of activities also Krishna is recommending, we have to identify our duties and perform our prescribed duty. And what is a prescribed duty? Just like when you have a prescribed syllabus in school, yes or no? You don't randomly pick some subject, suppose you're doing science. You probably have some topics and some chapters and some book that is prescribed by a school curriculum, yes or no? Similarly, every human being also has some prescribed duties. Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma. That dharma means duty. The two types of duties. What are duties? What are the two types of duties? One duty that is because of our body, and one duty which is specific to the soul. You all might want to write this down. Two types of duties or dharmas. One is called Swadharma and the other one is called Sanatana Dharma. Swadharma is the dharma or the duty because of the body that we have taken. And Sanatana Dharma is the dharma or the duty because we are eternal souls. And why are we talking about duties here? Just like we have prescribed syllabus, prescribed coursework, or prescribed curriculum in any course that we enroll in, whether it is school, whether it is academics, whether it is sports. Even in sports, if you enroll in a soccer, league or tennis club or whatever, they go through a series of lessons, and the lessons have been formatted in a way that you have to stick by those instructions or the curriculum that is prescribed in that. So prescribed is something which is you have to abide by because of you having enrolled in certain program to get the best results. Suppose you are enrolling in a university to get a degree in math, right? So when you enroll in that university, the university will prescribe certain math courses. It could be arithmetic, it could be geometry, it could be calculus, and then trigonometry, all these different math topics. And it will say, the university says, this is the prescribed topics and these are the prescribed books that you all have to master. And based on this prescribed syllabus or syllabi, we are going to give you an exam at the end of this course. And then based on how you do in that exam, we are going to give you a certificate and let you know if you have passed the course or you have to take it again. All this is clear? So similarly, we all have enrolled in this program called Human Life. Okay. Now, the purpose of human life, just like when you enroll into university, what is the purpose? My purpose was to get a degree in math. Yes or no? You don't enroll in a university without having any purpose. Do you do that? We all have a purpose in mind before enrolling in a university or even in a program. You might probably be doing karate classes. You might be doing maybe dance classes or music lessons, whatever you're doing. Do you go there without any goal in mind? Is there anybody here who says, I don't know why I'm going to these music lessons. I'm just going there randomly. Do you say that? I hope you all are not doing anything like that with any of the classes that you're attending. You have a program. Okay, this year, this child is going to complete Swarajati or Jatiswara or this level of music. And then next year, they'll be progressing to this level. That's how the curriculum is designed and it's prescribed, correct? Similarly, we all have enrolled or given an opportunity to be enrolled in this human life. And the goal of the human life is self-realization. What is self-realization? Self-realization is we all are not this body, we are this soul, and there is something that I need to do to be able to connect myself with the absolute divinity, higher power, higher source, the Supreme Father, correct? That is the actual goal of human life. And for achieving that goal, we are given a human body. We're not given an animal body because animal body cannot understand that, oh, my purpose is to actually, I'm a soul, I'm not this body. So I have to actually achieve a higher position than what I am in. Animal doesn't know all that. Animal is only thinking when it's hungry, it looks for food. When there's a need to defend itself, it takes care of defending. And when it is time to sleep, it will sleep. And when it's time to make babies, it will just make babies or find. It just lives life based off of these four principles of eating, sleeping, protecting, and making babies. These are the only things that the animals are guided by or propelled by. Whereas human beings have this understanding of the self-realization goal. So our prescribed duty is to actually achieve the self-realization. But we can't say, oh, my goal is self-realization, so I will stop doing anything else. I'll just sit and read Bhagavad-Gita and Bhagavatam every day. It will not happen because we are not mentally designed to do that right now. There are people who can do that, like Sukadeva Goswami, Narada Muni, there is Prahalad, There's Dhruva, who all did that at a young age, and they all were always focused on the Lord. But we all are not like that yet. So we have to eventually get to that stage. But for that, we need to perform our activities that we're doing right now in the way that Krishna is telling Arjuna to do. He's telling Arjuna, perform your prescribed duty. And prescribed duties are of two types, Swadharma, Sanatan Dharma. Swadharma is those activities or those duties that I have to do because I am in this body. I am a son, I am a daughter, I am a student, I am a brother, I am a friend. So all these relationships you have because of this body. For example, let's take myself as an example among all of us here. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm an employee, I am a friend. So I have all these duties that I have to do, correct? And I have to do them very well. As an employee, I have to do my job of the office well. I should not like sneak away from work and try to escape from work and just be lazy and just do minimal work. Krishna is not happy when I do that. As a mother, I have to take good care of my children. And what is taking good care of your children? Giving them spiritual knowledge, giving them healthy food, motivating them to do all activities well, creating an atmosphere in the house where they can grow well. Right? As a daughter, I have to be respectful to my parents. I have to live up to their expectations. I have to also help them. If they are not spiritually inclined or knowledgeable, I have to give them the knowledge wherever I can in a nice, polite, and respectful way. As a wife, I have some certain duties toward my husband. Similarly, each one of you, let's take example of maybe Shriyan. Shriyan is a son, probably he's a brother, he's a student, he's a friend. As a student, he has to do the best he can. He can't sneak away from work. So those are all the prescribed duties for each one of us. It is not the same for all of us. Overall, it might look same because you all in this group are students now. So all students have to study well. Your children have to be respectful to their parents and also serve them and follow their instructions. These are the duties as children. And as friends, you have to be nice, you have to be sharing, you have to be empathetic, you have to be listening to their concerns, their questions, they share their happiness, share their distress. So these are all duties because of the body that we have taken. Any questions on the prescribed duties because of the body that we have taken? Or because of the family that we are born into? We all have certain duties and we have to do them well. We can't escape. We can't be a disrespectful son or a daughter. We can't be a disobedient son or a daughter. We can't be a lazy student. We can't be a what you call cheat, a friend who's not good. What do you call a friend who's pretends to be a friend but not a friend? You can't be that, right? So those are the duties for taking this body. But there is, in addition to that, there are duties for this soul. Each one of us is a soul. You know that, right? Bhagavad-gita says we all are not this body, we are this soul. And because of that, we have certain duties. And what are those duties? Reading scriptures, trying to understand what the real qualities of the soul are. What is that Krishna is recommending to realize and live on the level of the soul, that real bliss, what is true happiness, what is true bliss, and how do we get to that stage of reminding ourselves by listening to Bhagavad Gita, by learning the verses, by chanting every day, by performing some devotional activities like doing puja at home, by singing bhajans. All those are activities that are prescribed duties for the soul. So Krishna is clearly saying, perform your prescribed duty. To Arjuna, he said that, and Arjuna's prescribed duty at that moment was to fight. At the same time, be Krishna conscious. That's what he said in the previous verse, right? One who is not attached, controls the mind, but performs their actions in Krishna consciousness is far superior. So for all of us too, we have to perform our duties. At the same time, keep our mind in control, remembering Krishna. That way we are doing our prescribed duties. Krishna doesn't force it. He says, oh, I'm telling you, that's my order. Perform your prescribed duty. He's not saying that. He's kindly guiding Arjuna, saying, perform your prescribed duty. And because why? Again, he gives a reasoning also. He says it is better than not doing any work, because nobody can stay without doing any work. Even to maintain your body, you have to do some work. Then why not do it wholeheartedly while performing your duty? Any questions? Everything clear? You all are clear about your duties? Stop sharing now, Sri Shuprit. So are these, I mean, the instructions that Krishna is giving to Arjuna, are they like, aren't they such great and wonderful instructions? They are like so important for us to know, because otherwise we will randomly do things without having any goal or any purpose. Yes or no? Now we have clarity and a hope. Now next step is for us to start applying this, not just listen here and forget about them. It's not like a storytelling class or just for entertainment, right? These classes are not storytelling or just, okay, Aruna auntie keeps speaking, let me hear. Okay, I'll be done in 1 hour. After that, I'm good. These are for us to apply in our lives. If not, you have wasted your time here. And you have been disrespectful to time. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, he says, time I am. Time is not different from Krishna. One who uses their time well, wisely, for the purpose it is meant for. I mean, it's meant for a time. All the time that is given to us is meant for a purpose, to be able to elevate our consciousness. One who uses his time wisely and for the real purpose is actually Krishna conscious. Because Krishna says, time I am. I'm not, time and Krishna are not different. One who is respectful to time is respecting Krishna. And one who is not using time wisely, wasting time, whiling away time, that means they're actually being disrespectful to Krishna. That's why it's important we go on time to classes, we be punctual, we be disciplined, we maintain. Sun also rises on time. Sun never says, oh, I want to just take a break and I will just not rise and I'll just stay in one place for maybe 24 hours. What happens? What is the turmoil that will be created if sun doesn't move? Or if sun doesn't rotate, or if the earth doesn't move, if the planetary system comes to a standstill. Everything in this creation is performing their functions so well, timely, in a timely manner. So it's important for all of us also to realize the importance of time and respect time. Okay. On that note, I want to stop. You all have a wonderful Saturday, Sunday, and a week ahead. We'll see you all next Saturday. We are going to have a parent meeting next Saturday evening. 17th is a holiday. You all know that, right? It's, I think, Martin Luther King Day. So on Saturday, which is going to be 15th evening, I'm going to schedule a parent meeting, parent only meeting. So please talk to them. I'm going to send the flyers soon, but please talk to them and ask them to keep their evening on Saturday free so that they can attend this parent meeting, which will be max for 1 to 1.5 hours. I need to talk to them what we are learning and all those things. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thanks everyone again. We'll see you all next Saturday, same time, same place. Of course, next Saturday it's going to be at 8:30. Today I had to move it to 9. Thank you all for being very accommodative. Thanks. Bye.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, bye.